Good morning, Wall Street winners. It is Wednesday, August the 7th, and we are looking very green on the screen as we head into the open in 90 minutes. We've got all three of the U.S. indices in the green, up over, well, the Nasdaq up over 1%, and so is the S&P 500 up over 1%, and the Dow Jones getting close to 1% at 0.85 of a percent in the green. If we take a look at our other indices around the world and an overview of what's going on, the Nikkei is up, the Hang Seng is up, most of the others here are up except the CSI 300. So that's a positive sign for kind of a return to normalcy in the markets internationally after the Bank of Japan raised rates unexpectedly, I think, this week and caused a bit of turmoil over in Japan, which had a ripple effect throughout the rest of the markets. But be it temporary, as the Bank of Japan has taken a bit of a dovish tone now in its narrative and comments to the market and is easing concerns around that. If we look through the stocks that we follow, a couple of them that we don't that reported, Shopify had great earnings and they are spiking and up in the green pre-market after some good earnings and revenue results and future forecasts. And then we have Disney. Disney's down slightly. It beat on earnings per share, had revenues down and off for its actual Disneyland and Disney World, its parks, but had revenue in its streaming services gain and subscribers gain in that area. So digital was up, but in-person and parks were down. You've got Home Depot and some of the retailers starting to report next week. So if we take a look at Home Depot, they report in 6 days. So it'll be interesting to see if consumer spending in these large big box stores helps to provide the revenue and earnings per share that these companies need for their stocks to make a bit of a gain. I am not sold that that's going to happen at this point in this regard. So I am not putting money into retail at this point. I think there are many other sectors to put it into. Healthcare kind of flat on the day. JB Hunt had a great day yesterday for no particular reason. Again, think it's maybe an anomaly. I would hold off on buying that in the 160s and wait until it drops down into the 150s. CNR is an attractive price at this point at the low 150s. This is a great company, has a great dividend. So if you're looking for something kind of stable, I mean, it pays 2.2% in a dividend. It will probably have some capital appreciation through the year. If you look at the 6-month chart, it is likely to get back up into the 160, maybe even 180 range towards the end of this year. So this could be an interesting buying opportunity for this stock, being that we're now, we'll call it just a little over halfway through the year. And this is definitely down on its year-to-date numbers. You can see, though, that back in September, November of last year, it was down at these similar levels, maybe even a little lower than it is right now. So there is a potential for it to go a little lower, but I do think that it has some good potential upside, but it's a long-term buy. It is not a day trade. It is not a swing trade. It is a buy and hold type position. If we move down into oil, oil is interesting. Crude is spiking today. It's up $1.60 at 74.80. No reason, again, for this other than potentially tensions in the Middle East. But, I mean, that's not new. I haven't heard any news that things have happened over there at this point. So we are looking like green on the screen across the board. We do have some oil companies reporting this week. So Devon Energy reports this week. I believe it could even be today. I'm not really following that one. And we have Occidental Petroleum reporting as well. They report today. So there could be some positive moves to the upside in that if it surpasses its earnings expectation and revenue expectation as well as future forecasts. It had a bit of a bumpy day yesterday, as you can see from the chart on the OXY ticker. This is also the company that Warren Buffett holds a large percentage of. So he is a big believer in Occidental Petroleum, and typically his bets are fairly successful. So that may be an interesting one to get into pre-earnings results. Or if you wait and it takes a dive after earnings, it might be an opportunity to buy in at a bit of a discount. Scrolling down to tack, the Nasdaq is having a great start to the morning. Trading obviously hasn't opened, but in the pre-market. So it'll be interesting to see what makes a bit of a rebound here. Looks like Salesforce is going to open to the with a $4 bump. We've got Palo Alto looking like a $7 bump pre-market. It also had a $7 increase yesterday. Net, which had great results last week, it looks like it's going to be up $2.25. As we scroll through the ETFs and down, Microsoft in the $3.99. This was something I picked up a little bit of yesterday. It's up almost $8 pre-market. ARM is up a couple of bucks pre-market. More risky for sure, but also a great deal of volatility in ARM. On semiconductor, looking like it's going to be up $1.50. AMD's gaining back some traction there, up $2. You've got Qualcomm gaining $3, Workday up $10. So that's a big gain if that stays into the open market. Lam Research is up. And I mean, most of the things here green on the screen. The one I love the most right now is Meta. Meta is up almost $8.50, looking like it'll probably get to $9 in the pre-market. And it was up 18 yesterday off of some great lows and great buying opportunities on Monday. And then you've got the others. Baba is announcing next week. So Alibaba is up in the pre-market, looking like it could maybe get to the $80 mark today, maybe back to 85 by earnings next week. And if earnings are good, maybe up to 95 or even 100 and start regaining some of the ground that it has lost over the last couple of years. NVIDIA pulling forward as well. So probably a good opportunity here coming into NVIDIA results at the end of the month. So we're looking at the 28th of August. TSM making a bit of a comeback. Again, solid earnings from TSM, but just got beaten down with the rest of the semis in that space, looking like they're going to gain about $5.50 in the pre-market and at the open. SoFi was down yesterday, had a bit of an off day, but not a ton, only 11 cents. It is up 12 cents this morning. Goldman had a phenomenal day yesterday, up $11.20. Still very attractive in the 470s, in my opinion. I picked up some Goldman yesterday, sold it on the dip partway through the morning, and then picked up a little more and held on to that. And then we've got Morgan Stanley. It had an okay day yesterday. It wasn't fabulous, up almost 1%, so nothing wrong with that by any means. But looking like it's going to be up another percent today. Still very attractive in the 93, 94 range. And then JP Morgan hit 200 again and looks like it's going to be up as well this morning. The one that's been beaten down consistently is TD Bank, the Toronto Dominion Bank. I think this is an interesting entry point in the 77s. Think they've worked through their anti-money laundering issues that they got caught up in, and they should be well positioned going into earnings this quarter. They are going to announce shortly. They'll be announcing on the 22nd of August, and they do have an incredible dividend. So if you look at their dividend ratio here, they do pay 5.28% on their dividend on an annual basis. So not a bad buy and hold if you're just looking for 5% on a dividend and some potential upside. I don't think there's much downside risk to this at this point because it's really at a bottom for really multiple years. I mean, if you look at the 5-year, it has been back in 2020 during COVID, it's been down lower. But other than that, it's really at its lowest point and been plateaued at that point really since 2022. So it's due for a rebound, and we may see that towards the end of this year as U.S. interest rates go up and go down, and Canadian interest rates continue to go down as well. So that's where we are in the market today. If we take a look at events coming up in terms of earnings, Shopify announced this morning, as I mentioned, they did well. Oxy and Marathon Oil aftermarket today. And then tomorrow we get into one of the techs, Akamai Technologies. They're coming out with earnings aftermarket tomorrow. And it'll be interesting because they fall into that kind of cybersecurity space, but also in content publishing and distribution for companies to allow their web content to be accessed faster from multiple points around the world, multiple distribution points. So we'll see what they come in with. They've been hit hard over the last, I'd say, year. If we scroll up and take a look at Akamai, you can see that this was a stock, if we go to the 5-year, that has been up in the 130s. It really got beaten up in 2023 and then spiked in early 2024, and it's come off of those highs significantly. So if we do get some good earnings, it wouldn't be unlikely to see a nice pop in Akamai and get above 100, maybe up to the 110 range if we see positive earnings. Maybe not today, but over the course of the next couple of weeks. So good luck in your trades. I think you're going to have a good day today in the market, just getting in early and then selling that position as it rises and taking your profits.